Happy Thursday, everyone. This is September 16th of 2010, and you're watching The Manly Potsies!
He's a man, such a man, such a man. He's a real man's man.
So I hope you're all having a good week so far. Mine really hasn't been that eventful. Had a couple things. I bought some cables online for some of my home theater and audio stuff. I know that's really exciting. Good place to buy cables, by the way, monoprice.com. Anything for home theater and computer stuff, they're really, really cheap. So, yeah, good stuff there, but I did do that. I've also been kind of just generally disgruntled about the return of all of our wonderful political ads on TV. They just drive me up the wall. I can't stand all of the blame the other guy and no blame the other guy crap. It's just stupid. But I don't want to get into politics because I really hate politics. So I'll avoid that for now and move on. The biggest thing that I did this week by far, which was really the only event the entire week, was actually a pretty darn monumental thing for me. I drove on my own straight down I-75. I blew past the disc golf course that I went to last week down in Piqua, Ohio, and I kept going until I got, I think the furthest south that I got was Renfro Valley, Kentucky, which is in the southern half of Kentucky. And when I was down there, I actually stayed the night at a hotel. I got a hotel room and hung out down there just on my own, and then drove all the way back the next day. Also played disc golf at a beautiful park. I think it was outside of Richmond, Kentucky, a place called Camp Catalpa Park. And it was absolutely beautiful. You guys have to see this. Camp Catalpa Park and disc golf course, right on the outskirts of Richmond, Kentucky. It's like the absolute most perfect treeage I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. We've got a nice sitting bench here. And we've got the sign, the retaining wall there for the actual pin or the tee. Look at this. There's a wooden bridge. Fantastic, right? I want to die there. It was so beautiful. Totally my kind of place. Anyway, that was really it for my week. It did go well. I'm like giddy as a schoolgirl about it. I can't believe that I managed to do that. So, on a side note real quick, Potsy dreams are really, really bizarre. Last night I had a dream that revolved around all of the major... Hey, tree in front of the camera. It's getting windy out and it might be raining on me soon, so I gotta go fast. Yeah, I had this weird dream. It revolved around all of the major airlines across the world. They were all going out of business at once, and of course all air traffic was grounded. Nobody could fly anywhere, and like the entire world was at a standstill, like economically and business-wise and stuff like that. It was crazy, and like everyone was treating it like a major crisis. Like the FBI was everywhere, and it was like a global disaster. It was nuts. And I remember there was an FBI agent outside of my house, and for some reason my house was a tow-behind white trailer that wasn't in the greatest of shape. It was bizarre. And I was sitting out in this FBI agent's truck, and we were both listening to the radio broadcasts, giving us like news and updates and stuff about what was going on. It was really weird. I remember right before I woke up, the announcer was talking about exactly what it was that caused it, and it was something really goofy, like I think the airlines decided that they were going to charge more money yet again for some other like general commodity that is taken for granted or that shouldn't be charged for or anything like that. It was like, I don't know, for example, like they were charging you an extra $10 per person just to like walk onto the plane or something crazy like that. And all of the people of the world boycotted the airlines, and that caused them all to go out of business. It was something crazy like that. So yeah, Potsy dreams are weird. And that brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack. So anyway, I'm going to make up quickly, if I can do it, random bug, for the lack of manly questions this week by answering questions from some of the ladies. So, well, I'll hit up those after I hit up Dave's. Dave, you asked, how are you adjusting to the fluctuating weather? For me, it really hasn't been too bad yet. I'm still hopeful that it's not going to get bad. So far it's not bad, although the past couple of years when it did change, it usually seemed to change later for me, like late October or November. So who knows, but I certainly hope that you're doing alright with it and it's not hitting you too hard. Hang in there, dude. Paige, you asked, what healthy person has always had your back throughout your illness? And for me, just like a lot of you, I would definitely have to say my mother. She has been a godsend throughout this entire thing. I honestly don't know how in the world I would have pulled myself through it. I don't think I could have on my own. She's been great. She's the person that I first went to in 2004 when I was having dizzy spells. I told her about that, and she helped me out making doctor's appointments and things like that all over the place because I was still in college in a really, really stressful semester and had almost no time at all. She helped me through the entire thing completely on her own for a while because my stepfather was overseas at the time, and she's been my guiding light throughout the entire thing. So, Mom, thank you so much for putting up with all of my crap and supporting me throughout this entire thing. I love you so much. Nikki, you asked, does POTS cause you to accidentally overlook or forget to do important things that you would do otherwise, or something like that? And you gave the example of forgetting or just not having enough energy to like return phone calls. Big affirmative on that. It happens to me all the time. In fact, if you ask any of my friends, they'll definitely tell you, probably the first thing about me that they'll say is that I'm notoriously bad at returning phone calls. I think partially it's because I'm just lazy, but it's also partially because when I feel sick, I feel very much out of energy, and I'm also very brain foggy, and half the time I forget that someone even called, and the other half of the time I just feel so drained of energy from trying to manage being sick and just struggling to like even make myself food and walk around the house and stay positive all day that I just don't feel like I have enough energy or spoons left to return calls, because you know I can talk like crazy, as you guys have seen, when I'm feeling up to it, and I still want to do that, and I want to kind of put on a front for my friends and act like myself, and that requires a huge amount of energy, and a lot of the times I just don't feel like I have the energy to do it. So but I mean, and the same goes for doing lots of other things, not just phone calls, of course, just basic day-to-day things that would normally be very, very important and are very, very important. They can be difficult to do because the combination of just being brain foggy and forgetting and also having almost no energy, it's really detrimental. So you're definitely not alone in that, Nikki. Shannon, you asked, what is your favorite summer 2010 memory? I thought about this for all of like 0.2 seconds. I'd have to say it was definitely my trip to Ocracoke Island, the Outer Banks, North Carolina, back in July. You guys saw my video from that. That was a huge milestone for me. It was my very first real vacation type of thing, and my first time any distance from home since this entire illness of mine began in 2004. I mean, that was my first excursion in years. And I pulled it off, and I had a lot of fun, even though I had a day or two that were really bad when I was there. It was completely worth it. So, also, a big shout out real quick to my friends that made that happen. Glenn, Kyle, Blakely, thank you so much for putting up with all of my crap when I was over there and making me go. I owe you guys big time. So, Candace, I already answered your question in a comment on YouTube, so I will forgo elaborating on that anymore. However, I do want to say I hope that you start feeling better soon, and I hope that you can get the results back from your blood work and things very quickly. I know it does kind of suck to wait on all of that stuff. So my question for the week is, do you find that time seems to go really fast or really slow when you're feeling sick compared to when you're not? It's probably just a perception thing, just like the whole time flies when you're having fun thing. But, of course, it's no fun being sick at all. But for me, it seems like when I get really sick, time goes really fast, which is like the opposite of what I'd expected. I'd think that it would just drag on and on, because it's like I'm being tortured. And I think when I'm in the moment, it does seem to last for an eternity. But even a day later, looking back on it, it seems like time just goes so fast. I just thought that was really strange, and I wondered if anyone else felt that way. I know a lot of my questions have been kind of odd, and a lot of you haven't been able to relate, so maybe I'm just weird like that. But whatever, that's me. So, man, I have a problem with saying and so. It's terrible. I just keep going on and on. So that's it for now. I hope that you all can have a great week, the rest of the week, and also a fantastic weekend. I hope that all of you can start feeling better if you haven't been, and if you have been, I hope it continues. Take care of yourselves, God bless, and I will see you next week.